God says there are moments in life when you feel a quiet sense that something meaningful is unfolding in your personal journey. Relationships, especially the ones that touch your heart deeply, often grow through layers of understanding that take time to reveal themselves. Sometimes people carry feelings, thoughts, or intentions inside their hearts for a long time before they find the courage to express them openly. This does not always come from secrecy or fear, but often from a desire to protect what they feel or to understand their own emotions more clearly before sharing them. You may have sensed recently that someone close to you has been thinking deeply about their connection with you. Perhaps their actions or words have changed slightly, or you have noticed moments where they seemed thoughtful or quiet. These small signals can sometimes reflect that a person is reflecting on their feelings and trying to understand what role you truly play in their life. When emotions become meaningful, people often take time to process them before they speak. God says relationships are not only built through shared experiences but also through moments of honesty and vulnerability. When two people begin to realize that their connection is deeper than they first believed, it can create a mixture of excitement and uncertainty. One person may feel ready to speak openly, while the other may still be gathering the courage to share what is in their heart. This period of quiet reflection is often a natural part of emotional growth. There may have been times when you wondered what someone truly felt about you. Those thoughts are natural because meaningful relationships often bring curiosity and hope at the same time. When you care about someone, it is normal to want clarity about the direction of that connection. But real understanding usually appears gradually, through conversations, shared moments, and the patience to let feelings develop naturally. God says patience plays an important role in relationships that are meant to grow stronger. When people rush to force answers, they sometimes miss the deeper understanding that develops over time. Allowing space for honest communication creates an environment where both people feel safe expressing their thoughts and emotions. Another important truth is that communication is the bridge that brings clarity to relationships. When two people speak openly and listen to each other with respect, misunderstandings begin to fade. Honest conversations help reveal what each person values and what they hope for in the future. God says the message reaching you right now is not about suspicion or doubt. Instead, it is a reminder to approach your relationships with awareness, patience, and understanding. When you allow conversations and emotions to unfold naturally, you create the opportunity for deeper connection and trust. Every meaningful relationship grows through moments of listening and reflection. Sometimes the most important feelings are not revealed all at once but gradually, as two people become more comfortable sharing their thoughts and dreams with each other. This process allows the connection to become stronger and more genuine. God says if someone in your life has been reflecting quietly about their feelings, it may simply mean they are beginning to understand how important the connection is. When you approach that moment with patience and openness, you create the space for honesty and mutual understanding. Remember that the strongest relationships are built on trust, communication, and respect. When you allow those qualities to guide your connection with others, you create a foundation where love and understanding can grow naturally over time. God says as you continue reflecting on this message, understand that meaningful relationships rarely reveal everything at once. Emotions grow slowly, often beneath the surface, before they are finally expressed in words. When two people share a connection that carries depth and significance, it is natural for one or both of them to spend time thinking quietly about what they truly feel. They may want to understand their own emotions clearly before speaking, because when something matters deeply, people often become careful about how and when they reveal it. You may have sensed that someone close to you has been more thoughtful lately. Perhaps they pause before speaking, or their actions show a kind of attention that was not as noticeable before. Sometimes these small signals are the result of someone reflecting on their feelings and recognizing that the bond they share with you has become more meaningful than they once realized. These moments of reflection are often the beginning of deeper emotional understanding. God says relationships grow through patience and awareness. When people rush to define everything quickly, they sometimes overlook the quiet moments where trust and understanding naturally develop. True connection does not come from pressure or urgency, it grows through time, shared experiences, and the willingness to listen to one another with sincerity. There may have been times when you wondered what someone truly felt about you. Those thoughts are common whenever emotions become meaningful. When someone matters to you, curiosity about their feelings is a natural part of the relationship. Yet clarity often appears not through constant questioning but through observation, conversation, and the patience to allow emotions to unfold naturally. God says communication remains one of the most important elements of any lasting connection. Honest conversations create space where both people feel safe expressing their thoughts. When individuals speak openly and listen with respect, misunderstandings begin to fade and trust grows stronger. In this environment, even feelings that were once difficult to express can eventually be shared with confidence. Another important part of emotional growth is vulnerability. When someone decides to share what they truly feel, it often requires courage. Opening one's heart means allowing another person to see emotions that may have been carefully protected. But vulnerability also creates the possibility for deeper understanding and stronger connection. God says patience during this stage of a relationship allows both people to discover their feelings without fear or pressure. When emotions are given time to develop naturally, they often become more genuine and stable. Instead of rushing toward conclusions, allowing the connection to grow gradually can create a stronger and more meaningful bond. You may also notice that the way someone treats you often reveals more than words alone. Kind gestures, thoughtful attention, and moments of quiet care can sometimes express feelings that have not yet been spoken. These actions show that the connection holds value and that the person is considering the role you play in their life. God says the message reaching you right now is not about suspicion or doubt. Instead, it is a reminder that meaningful relationships evolve through understanding, patience, and communication. When you approach your connections with openness and respect, you allow trust and honesty to grow naturally. Every relationship carries its own rhythm. Some feelings are expressed quickly, while others develop slowly as two people learn more about each other. When you respect that rhythm and remain patient, you create the opportunity for a connection that is both sincere and lasting. God says as you continue listening to this message, remember that meaningful connections between two people often grow quietly before they become visible. Many emotions develop in silence before they are ever spoken aloud. When someone begins to recognize that a relationship carries deeper meaning than they first realized, they may take time to reflect on what they truly feel. This period of reflection does not mean distance or uncertainty. Sometimes it simply means that the person is carefully understanding their emotions before sharing them honestly. You may have noticed that someone in your life has been acting differently in subtle ways. Perhaps they are more thoughtful when they speak with you, or they seem more attentive to your feelings and experiences. These small changes can often reflect that the person is becoming more aware of how important the connection is becoming. When feelings begin to deepen, people often become more careful about their actions because they do not want to say or do something that could disturb the bond they value. God says relationships are not always built through grand gestures. In many cases they grow through small, consistent actions that slowly create trust and understanding. A kind word, a thoughtful message, or the willingness to listen during a difficult moment can strengthen the emotional connection between two people. Over time, these simple moments become the foundation of a meaningful relationship. There may have been times when you wondered what someone truly feels about you. Curiosity about another person's feelings is natural whenever a connection becomes significant. When two people share experiences and emotional moments, questions about the future of that relationship may naturally appear. But clarity often comes not through constant questioning, but through patience and observation of how the person treats you over time. God says patience is one of the most important qualities when emotions are involved. When feelings are genuine, they do not need to be forced or rushed. Instead, they grow gradually as two people continue to learn about each other. Giving space for this process allows both individuals to understand their emotions more clearly and to express them in a sincere and thoughtful way. Communication also plays a powerful role in creating understanding between people. When individuals feel comfortable sharing their thoughts openly, misunderstandings become easier to resolve. Honest conversations create an environment where both people can speak about their hopes, their fears, and the meaning they see in the relationship. God says vulnerability is another important part of emotional connection. Sharing what is truly in your heart requires courage because it allows another person to see your genuine feelings. But when vulnerability is met with understanding and respect, it can deepen the relationship in ways that create lasting trust. You may also notice that actions often reveal emotions more clearly than words alone. The way someone supports you during difficult times, the attention they give to your thoughts, and the consistency of their care can all reflect the importance they place on the connection. These gestures often show that the person values the relationship even if they have not yet expressed everything they feel. God says the message reaching you today is not meant to create doubt or suspicion. Instead, it is a reminder that meaningful relationships develop through patience, communication, and mutual respect. When two people approach their connection with honesty and understanding, they create a space where trust and emotional closeness can grow naturally. Every relationship has its own pace and rhythm. Some feelings are revealed quickly, while others take time to unfold as two people grow more comfortable sharing their hearts with each other. Respecting that process allows the relationship to develop in a way that is sincere and lasting. God says as this message continues, understand that every meaningful relationship carries moments of quiet realization. There are times when someone begins to understand the depth of their feelings, yet they may not immediately know how to express them. When emotions grow stronger than expected, people often step back for a moment, not to create distance, but to understand their heart more clearly. This quiet reflection is often where genuine emotions become stronger and more sincere. You may have experienced moments where the connection between you and someone feels deeper than ordinary conversation. Perhaps there are moments of understanding that do not require many words, or times when their presence brings a sense of calm and familiarity. These experiences are often the signs that a relationship is developing beyond surface interaction. When two people begin to feel comfortable being themselves around each other, the foundation of trust begins to form naturally. God says trust is the heart of every meaningful relationship. Without trust, even strong feelings can become uncertain. But when two people build trust through honesty, patience, and respect, the relationship becomes a place where both individuals feel safe expressing who they truly are. Trust grows slowly, through repeated moments of reliability and understanding, until both people recognize the value of the bond they share. Sometimes someone may hesitate before revealing their true emotions because they want to be sure that the connection is real. They may observe how the relationship develops, paying attention to whether both people are willing to care, listen, and support each other. This careful approach often shows that the person values the relationship deeply and does not want to treat it lightly. God says emotional clarity often arrives when people are given time to reflect on what truly matters to them. In a world that often moves quickly, meaningful relationships remind us that patience is powerful. When people take time to understand each other's thoughts and feelings, they create a stronger connection than if everything were rushed or forced. There may also be moments when the person close to you seems thoughtful or quiet, as if they are considering something important. These moments can simply be a sign that they are thinking about the role you play in their life. When someone recognizes that another person has become meaningful to them, they often pause to consider how to express those feelings in the right way. God says that genuine connection is built through shared experiences and understanding. The conversations you have, the moments you support each other, and the memories you create together slowly shape the emotional bond between you. Over time, these experiences form a relationship that is not based on temporary feelings but on deeper understanding. Another important element of lasting relationships is empathy. When two people care about each other, they begin to notice each other's emotions and respond with kindness. Being able to understand someone else's perspective creates a powerful sense of closeness. It shows that the connection is not only about attraction or interest, but about mutual respect and care. God says this message is meant to remind you that meaningful relationships often unfold gradually. When you allow the connection to grow naturally, without pressure or fear, you give both yourself and the other person the freedom to express genuine emotions. This approach creates a stronger and more balanced relationship. The person who may be thinking deeply about you could simply be recognizing the importance of the connection you share. They may be realizing that what began as a simple friendship or acquaintance has grown into something more meaningful. When this realization happens, people often take time to understand their feelings before speaking openly about them. God says when you approach relationships with patience, kindness, and honesty, you create space for something truly meaningful to develop. Instead of focusing on uncertainty, focus on the value of the connection itself. When two people treat each other with respect and understanding, the relationship naturally moves toward deeper clarity. Remember that every strong relationship is built step by step. It grows through conversation, through trust, and through the willingness to understand each other's hearts. When both people value the connection, the bond becomes stronger with time and shared experience. If this message resonated with you, comment, "I welcome love and clarity into my life." Like this video if you believe genuine connections grow through patience and trust, and subscribe if you want to continue hearing messages that inspire emotional awareness, understanding, and meaningful relationships.